Have you ever been on an adventure that felt so real you could almost taste it? Well, grab your favorite snack because I've got a story for you that is going to make your mouth water and your heart feel full. It all started on a super cheerful afternoon. I was just cruising along on my bike, enjoying the sunshine, when my little mouse friend, Mimi, poked her head out of my basket. Her tiny nose was twitching like crazy. She looked up at me and squeaked, "Do you smell that?" And oh, I did! The air was filled with this incredible aroma, warm, crispy, and just absolutely delicious. It was the kind of smell that makes you instantly happy. We were both so curious, trying to figure out where it was coming from. I started pedaling a little faster, following the scent, thinking maybe a new bakery had opened up or something. But then, something truly magical happened. Right before our eyes, the ordinary road started to change. It was like watching a movie special effect, but it was happening right there in front of us. The gray pavement beneath my bike tires began to shimmer and transform, turning into a beautiful golden brown color, almost like a perfectly cooked piece of crispy chicken. And the white lines on the road! They swirled and reformed into these big, bright red and white striped pots, kind of like candy canes, but way more savory looking. Everything around us was changing. The trees on the side of the road started to look different, their leaves a vibrant, glossy green, and the whole world seemed to be bathed in a warm, inviting light. It was completely surreal. Then, as if that wasn't amazing enough, a glowing sign just gently floated down from the sky, hovering right in front of us. It shimmered with a soft, golden light, and the words on it were written in a friendly, looping script. It said, "Welcome to Wings Land." I literally slammed on my brakes, my bike screeching to a halt. My jaw dropped. Wings Land! What in the world was that? I looked around, completely stunned. Mimi was just as surprised, her little eyes wide with wonder. I turned to her and couldn't help but laugh. "This place looks tasty," I said, because honestly, that was the only word I could think of to describe it. Everything looked and smelled like the most delicious meal you could ever imagine. Mimi started clapping her tiny paws together, her excitement bubbling over. "Let's explore! Let's explore!" she squeaked. So we found a shiny post that looked like a giant fork sticking out of the ground and carefully parked my bike against it. We took a deep breath of that amazing, savory air and stepped into Wings Land. Wow! The moment we walked in, it was like stepping into the happiest place on earth. The whole land was bright and cheerful, filled with this incredible energy. And the trees, you won't believe this, the trees had giant, crispy, golden brown chicken wings growing on them, just like apples or oranges. They hung from the branches, glistening perfectly. Soft, gentle clouds of steam floated through the air, carrying the wonderful, comforting smell everywhere. We saw these friendly food workers moving around, but not in a rushed, chaotic way. They were also calm and careful. Some were working in these huge, open-air kitchens made of shimmering gold, gently cooking more wings. You could hear the soft sizzle and see the care they put into every single piece. Other workers were packing the finished wings into these cute little boxes that had smiling faces drawn on them. Everyone was working together in perfect harmony, like a well-oiled and very delicious machine. It was so peaceful to watch. There was no shouting, no stress, just a quiet, happy hum of activity. It felt like they weren't just making food, they were creating little pieces of joy. Just then, a friendly chicken guide, who was wearing an adorable tiny chef's hat, waddled over to us. He had a warm smile and kind eyes. "Welcome," he chirped. "Here in Wings Land, all our food is made with care." He gestured towards one of the kitchens where a worker was patiently turning a wing. We believe that rushing makes food sad. Mimi, who was listening intently, nodded her head with a very serious expression. That makes sense, she whispered to me. Happy food must taste better. I couldn't agree more. It was a simple idea, but it felt so profound. The whole atmosphere of the place was a testament to that philosophy. Everything was done with intention and love. We decided to follow our new guide, and you led us down a path that was, get this, made of crunchy breadcrumbs. With every step, there was a satisfying little crunch, crunch, crunch under our feet. It was the most delightful road I've ever walked on. This crunchy path eventually led us to the edge of the sauce river. And yes, it was a river of sauce. Actually, it was 3 rivers flowing side by side. One was a beautiful, creamy mild sauce. The next was a glistening, golden honey sauce that sparkled in the light. And the third was a vibrant, fiery red spicy sauce that bubbled gently. Little boats shaped like dipping baskets were floating lazily on top of the sauces, ready for anyone who wanted a taste. It was the most incredible sight. Nearby, a group of kids were playing. They were gathered around a picnic blanket, sharing a big box of wings. But what really struck me was how they were behaving. There was no grabbing or fighting over the last piece. They were all laughing, talking, and patiently waiting their turn. One kid would offer a wing to another, and they would say thank you. It was so different from the usual playground squabbles you see. I turned to our guide, completely touched by the scene. This land is all about sharing, isn't it? I said. The chicken guide smiled warmly. Yes, he replied. Sharing is the secret ingredient. That's why everything here tastes so much better. His words really hit me. It wasn't just about the recipe or the cooking method. It was about the kindness and community that went into it. As the afternoon started to turn into evening, the sun began to lower in the sky, casting a beautiful, warm glow over the entire land. Wings Land became even more magical. The golden kitchens shimmered, the sauce river sparkled, and the wing trees looked like they were lit from within. Then a series of soft bells began to ring throughout the land. It wasn't a loud, jarring sound, but a gentle, melodic chime. One by one, the kitchens slowly and peacefully closed down for the day, the workers tidying up and getting ready to rest. The whole land seemed to be taking a collective, peaceful sigh. Mimi reached out and held my hand with her tiny paw. She looked up at me, her eyes shining. I feel so full, she said softly. Not in my tummy, but in my heart. I knew exactly what she meant. We hadn't even eaten a single wing, but we were filled with this incredible sense of warmth, happiness, and peace. It was a feeling of contentment that you just can't get from food alone. We found our chicken guide and thanked him for the wonderful tour. We waved goodbye to all the friendly faces we had seen, and they all waved back with genuine smiles. Slowly, we walked back down the breadcrumb path, the gentle crunching sound of soft farewell. We got to my bike, which was still leaning against the giant fork post. As we got on and started to ride away, I looked back over my shoulder. The beautiful, golden land of wings was slowly fading, like a dream when you start to wake up. The red and white paths blended back into normal road lines, the wing trees turned back into regular trees, and the magical glow disappeared. Soon, we were back on the same busy road we had started on. It was as if nothing had happened. But something had changed. The warm, delicious, crispy smell stayed with us, clinging to the air around us, a gentle reminder of where we had been. And more importantly, the feeling of kindness and peace stayed with us too. I smiled as we pedaled home. I realized that some places in the world, whether they're real or just in our imagination, don't just feed your stomach. They feed your soul. They teach you about patience, about sharing, and about the importance of doing things with love. And Wings Land was definitely one of those places. It was a delicious reminder that kindness is always the best ingredient. Thanks for listening to my story. I hope it made you feel a little warm and fuzzy inside. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures. See you next time.